Hello, everybody. Looking forward to running through today's session on Folio Three's Propertese solution. So, what we're really going to be talking about today is just how we're able to involve a little bit of control, better visibility when it comes to the real estate industry and property management specifically. So, without further ado, we will jump into today's agenda and get things kicked off with some introductions as well here. On the slate for today, we are going to be starting with some introductions on myself, Blake Seitz, as well as Zed, my colleague who I have with me. From there, we'll jump into who Folio 3 is, what our property solution is, talk about how we are able to handle subsidiary management within our properties tool, typical challenges that property managers are facing, as well as our solutions around these challenges. We will introduce that property solution, give you a live product demonstration, as well as discuss the key features of that tool. So, looking forward to today's call. We'll have a Q&A session at the end as well. So after we kind of get through all of our content here, we'll be able to dive into that a little bit deeper. A couple quick introductions. I will get started and then really hand it over to the star of the show, Zed, here as well. My name is Blake Seitz. I am a sales manager and solution consultant here at Folio 3. I work exclusively with our NetSuite division as well as our digital health division. I also spend quite a bit of time working with Zed on the Propertese tool. So looking forward to diving into today's content. Zed, I will hand things over to you for a quick conversation as well.
Hey, thank you, Blake. And I'm excited to join you guys as well for this webinar. So I work as a product manager at Folio 3 for Propertese. I'm responsible for guiding the product through every stage of its life cycle. I also have, keep the entire team focused, ensuring that we build not only meets the business goals of our customers, but more importantly, solves the problems that matters the most of our users.
So let's jump into things. Where we're going to be starting today is with just a quick introduction. So before I hand things over to Zed to start speaking to what Propertese is, I did want to introduce Folio 3. So Folio 3 Software, we're just a technology company. We work with different ERP tools. We work with different technology stacks. And the reason I like to bring that up is we take a really holistic approach when it comes to technology solutions that companies are leveraging. We have over 20 years of experience working with, enterprise, small businesses, startup companies, and we span globally. So the reason I like to bring all of this up is we have a very comprehensive approach and comprehensive nature when we're building out and developing new solutions. What that means is we're able to identify gaps in other tools, identify areas of weakness where we can build upon and really just essentially make those solutions functionally applicable in certain operational areas. One of those areas that we identified is properties. So we'll let Zed here come in and introduce our properties tool. Zed, if you want to jump in.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So Properties basically is end-to-end SaaS-based solution. It's purposely built to simplify and streamline the rental property management experience. Properties is designed primarily for the property managers who either own properties themselves or manage third-party assets on behalf of landlords or investment groups. Whether you are overseeing a few units or an entire portfolio, Properties brings all of your operations under one roof. With Properties, property managers can efficiently manage day-to-day operations, handle maintenance requests in a timely and trackable manner, keep comprehensive and up-to-date tenant and lease records, monitor the status of all the properties and portfolio in one centralized dashboard, automated rent invoicing, reminders, online rent payments and collections, streamline move-in, move-outs, and inspection processes. It's more than just a system. It's a platform built to help you reduce your manual work, improve response times, and deliver better service to both tenants and property owners. Today, we'll take you through key modules and workflows inside Properties and show you how the smart, scalable platform can transform the way you manage your rental business.
So, jumping into subsidiary management, this is one of the key areas of our properties tool and the ability to really mimic whatever your corporate structure is from a legal entity perspective within your property management platform. So we do have a hierarchical structure built out within Propertese, and what we're able to accommodate, right? We see folks who have each building as a separate entity. We see folks where different entities are managing numerous properties underneath. We see folks where it's their own properties that they're managing. We see folks with, ownership agreements in place. And Propertese is really able to handle all of these different needs, right? So we talk about some of the complexities that arise with multi-entity management in the property management and real estate space. And a couple things that I just like to highlight here in terms of statistics, right? There's two numbers flashing on our screen here, right? 65% of real estate firms are managing multiple properties across different entities. So, in other words, right, a majority of folks are dealing with entity management. And there's a lot of productivity that's lost in these different entities by managing these entity structures manually, right? So, what we've done is come up with solutions to handle that, right? And there's a few key areas of subsidiary management that I like to touch on here. So again, as I mentioned on the previous slide, your legal and financial structure that you have is going to be mimicked within your property management tool. So under each legal entity, you're going to be able to see the properties that are associated, all in a centralized platform where you're going to have all of your operational activity as well as your financial oversight in one place, right? Any intercompany transactions, any compliance needs, the way that we're able to integrate our property management tool into your ERP system means that we're going to be able to accommodate any transactions moving between those. And we also support, right? I mentioned we're a global entity. We support a multi-currency, multi-tax structure setup and configuration as well. So there's a lot that's done here in terms of where your entity's located, how many properties are within that entity, and making sure you have the visibility there to support your operations. Okay. So again, what does this truly mean? This is the financial impact of manual management, right? We saw the 65 and the 20% figures in a previous slide. We talked about what Propertese is able to do. And really, those key solutions are intended to mitigate these key financial impacts, right? Of increase administrative costs, reduce your errors, speed up the time to see key reports that you need, right? And avoid any potential compliance penalties, which can be very costly, not to mention time consuming, right? So that's what Propertese is designed to help overcome.
Yeah. So apart from the subsidiary management, where you manage your multiple legal entities, there are quite a lot of challenges that are regularly faced by residential and commercial property managers. So some of the key elements that we have, came through as far as our experience in the real estate industry is concerned, specifically faced by the residential property managers, because the residential properties is more than just collecting rent, right? It's a constant balancing act between operations, tenant satisfaction, and financial performances. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common challenges that residential property managers face in their day-to-day operations. So first of all, manual lease management. Again, it's quite related to what Blake said about when you're managing multiple legal entities within your portfolio. So many property managers still rely on spreadsheets, PDFs, or SOL systems to manage leases. This often leads to inconsistent data, missed deadlines, and duplicate work as well. Tracking terms, clauses, security deposits, rent escalations become a manual burden as well. Lack of automation makes it harder to scale efficiently or ensure compliance across all of your multiple properties, like your multifamily homes, your apartment complexes, single family homes, as far as residential property management is concerned. Again, increased risk of errors, delayed in onboarding tenants, vacancy listings, and non-standardized lease documentations. Then comes late payment. So it's the second biggest challenge that we have, that the residential property managers face. Late rent payments are one of the biggest pain points for the property managers. Chasing down tenants, sending manual reminders, reconciling payments can consume hours of admin time. Lack of visibility into who owes what and when only adds to the issue, right? Disrupted cash flows and more time spent on collection rather than proactive management. obviously is a big challenge for the residential property managers. High turnover rates, maintaining occupancy is a constant challenge. Tenants often leave due to poor communication, unresolved maintenance issues, lack of renewal incentives. Without a system or track satisfaction or lease expiration trends, it's a hard to actively. Frequent vacancies lead to revenue loss and increased costs for marketing and unit turnover. Revenue consolidation, again, if you're managing multiple portfolios, multiple legal entities, a mix of commercial and residential, with income flowing in from multiple sources, rent, utilities, parkings, late fees, consolidating revenue data across all of your properties can become complex. If you're managing different properties for different owners, the challenges multiplies basically. Without integration with accounting platforms, reporting becomes a manual and error-prone process. Again, when it comes to financial reporting, inaccurate reporting, lack of transparency for stakeholders, and compliance issues causes further delays. Then comes the most important part where the renewals and terminations are tracked basically manually. Lease renewals and terminations are often reactive instead of strategic moves. Property managers are forced to juggle calendars and manually follow up with tenants as lease end dates approach. Missing these windows can lead to tenant churn or extended vacancies. The impact of this is loss of renewal opportunities, longer vacancy cycles, and unnecessary turnover costs. Yep. So because the commercial side is quite different from the residential side, and some of the challenges may, overlap with each other, but most of the things on the commercial side are quite different from the property management on the residential side. On the residential side, we have seen different challenges. Now let's shift gears and explore the complexities faced by commercial property managers, especially those managing office buildings, retail spaces, industrial units, triple net leases, long-term leases. It requires a lot of effort on very different level of precisions, long-term planning, financial oversight. Here are some of the biggest pain points of commercial property managers deals with daily. Complex multi-year lease management, unlike residential leases, commercial leases often span for years, 10 years, or even 20 years, and includes different clauses like triple net leases, double net leases, farm leases, agricultural leases as well, options to renew, subleases, escalations. Tracking these long-term commitments manually can be overwhelming, right? Each lease may have unique billing schedules, commencement conditions, allowances. Missing a key clause or date can mean loss of revenue or legal exposure as well. Poor visibility into lease obligations, revenue leakage, and inefficient onboarding, offboarding of tenants can cause delays. Rent escalation calculations, basically including annual rent escalations based on CPI, fixed percentage, or custom terms based increase as well. Calculating and applying these changes accurately year after year with specific reminder dates, rent review dates across dozens of leases is time consuming if you're doing it manually, and it's a very error prone process. What if a lease requires CPI based increase and CPI data isn't integrated within properties, right? Within a property management system that you currently use, or whether you are using a spreadsheet, maybe. Or if one of the tenant escalation clause kicks in mid-year while another is in a calendar year based. Then comes the preventive maintenance tracking. So a lot of assets are there within those commercial spaces. Commercial tenant expects flawless building operations from elevators to HVAC systems. Reactive approach to maintenance just doesn't cut it anymore. Preventive maintenance schedules are critical, especially when warranties and service level agreements are involved. Without a system in place, tasks fall through the cracks, increasing downtime and tenant dissatisfaction as well. Higher repair costs, tenant complaints, and possible lease violations, comes directly to the landlords of such buildings. Another very important aspect is common area maintenance reconciliation. CAM charges for shared expenses like landscaping, security, cleaning are a cornerstone to different commercial property management spaces. But reconciling actual costs against budgeted amounts at year end is often a manual spreadsheet driven nightmare. Allocations need to be prorated accurately across tenants based on square footage, lease terms, and exclusions. Getting things wrong leads to disputes, delays in billing, and strained tenant relationships.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now we're going to take a look at our properties tool, and really the goal of this session is to show you how we've designed a solution to overcome a lot of the challenges that we've discussed and be able to sync that data in real time to your ERP. Great. So as I mentioned, right, the properties tool what we've really done here is build an application that's a powerful real estate management solution that works seamlessly with your accounting and finance tool, right? Whether you're using a solution like NetSuite, whether you're using a solution like Zero, right? What we're going to do is integrate in any financially impacting transactions from your property management tool into that ERP of choice. And what that means is a seamless user experience from operational activity to your back end, back office accounting and finance staff, right? So we talked a lot about the use case for properties, both on the residential and commercial side. We've talked about how we're able to accommodate entity structures and replicate how that's set up within your ERP tools. And what we're going to see shortly here, after just discussing a couple of key features, is a demonstration live.
So just touching up upon some of the key features of properties, and we'll also dive into them in detail, just skimming through some of the key features that we have within properties. Again, subsidiary management, if you are managing multiple legal entities, ideal for property managers who operate under different legal entities or manage third-party portfolios, mix of residential, commercial legal entities. Property and unit management, you can, have different kind of portfolios within properties. A very powerful property and unit management module. You can manage property metadata, unit configuration, amenities, status, all in real time, track vacancies, availability, unit specific details from a centralized dashboard as well. Leasing and rental management, fully streamlined from lease creation and renewal to rent calculation and invoicing, with support for various frequencies, monthly, quarterly, yearly, late fee structure, auto invoicing. Leasing becomes a predictable and trackable workflow for you. Maintenance request management. Tenants and staff can log maintenance requests, which are often tracked through resolution. Property support supports task assignments, status updates, work order generation, vendor tracking as well, vendor payables as well. Property supports multi-currency, multi-language support as well, making it ideal for international operations or regions with diverse tenant bases. Community association management for condos, HOAs, community-based properties, affordable housing. Properties includes tools for association fees, billings, owner portals, amenity bookings, rent distributions, subsidy-based housing schemes and stuff. Role-based access. So you have, different kind of roles within properties. You can assign users those roles who can see what and do within properties. You can define such role-based access controls as well, set permissions and the module or action level for property managers, leasing agents, owners, landlords, and tenants as well. Then we have document management, upload, tag, organize critical documents like lease agreements, floor plans, inspection reports. Documents can be linked to properties, leases, tenants as well, different records, and easily accessed when needed through a centralized place, basically. Apart from that, very important feature of properties is the email communication and automated reminders. So you can stay connected without the manual work. Properties automates invoice emails, overdue rent reminders, lease renewal notices, maintenance follow-ups. You can also send emails manually as well, like communication, like announcements. Tenants receive rent reminders 3 days before the due date, just like that, automatically reducing your late payments. All essential property management function into a single place, integrated platform designed to save time, reduce errors, and improve both tenant and staff expectations. So on the screen, when you log into properties, you will be greeted with a dashboard. Before jumping into that, I'll quickly show you some of the key features that we talked about earlier, like the legal entity management, multiple subsidiaries. So you can have, multiple subsidiaries within properties as well. Each tile that you see here represents a legal entity within your group of companies. So you can have, different tenants, different lease agreements, different kind of records, different leases, different property and units portfolio within each of the legal entities that you manage within your portfolio. Then comes the dashboard. So again, you have very key oversights of the KPIs that you have within properties. The first one is the revenue overview. You'll see from your different portfolio of commercial and residential properties, your rental part where you generate the invoicing for the rental side of the business. It simply shows you within a span of year, half year, or quarter how much income was generated, average monthly income, total outstanding, how your current portfolio is doing right now, how many units are occupied, how many are vacant through the marketing feature, how many are listed, unlisted, Within the maintenance module, not only you can track maintenance requests, but also you can create tasks for your internal employees as well. It's just give you a snapshot of your overdue tasks, tasks with different statuses completed, pending, in review, in progress, recent tasks coming in from different sources like the tenant portal, owner portal, or if you are creating tasks internally for your employees. Full end-to-end lease lifecycle management. So you have your leases here, how many leases are active, how many are about to expire, how many are already expired. So lease terminations, everything in that case. Lease termination when it's processed, your unit inventory status. Apart from the regular statuses, you have your, deep dive as part of your portfolio history is concerned. Very important widget for the property managers, how many units are about to be vacant in certain days. So you have your details here. So within 90 days, these units will be about to be expire. So you can see the details. On the approval side, you have a two-step approval workflow as well. On the HOA side or affordable housing schemes, you have your KPIs related to the community associations here.
Yeah, and one thing just to call out as Zed was kind of
Hmm.
scrolling through that is
Hmm.
this is kind of the one-stop shop dashboard to really drive and steer your day as a property manager, right? Everything you need to know in terms of vacant units, tasks to complete, maintenance orders outstanding, leases you need to be working on, right? All of that information pulls into this usable dashboard where you're able to drill into tiles, drill into individual leases, right? It makes it very easy to navigate the tool and make sure nothing's slipping through the cracks. So just like to kind of call that out here is, this can really guide your day before you even get into the navigation pane on the left hand side of your screen to be moving to different areas, right? You have a lot available at your fingertips here on the dashboard.
Yeah, absolutely correct, Blake. So, talking about the left menu navigation, so it's quite simple again. You have your property and unit portfolios, you have your units, you have your third-party ownership agreements, then you have your association-based side of things. You have your marketing feature where you can advertise your units, like on Zillow or through an internal URL as well. Your lease lifecycle management across, different stages. So you have expiring leases, renewals, expired leases, terminated leases. If you want to see the late fee details of a specific tenant or across all of your portfolio, you can do that too. Short-term bookings, you can have a peek at that as well. If you are managing like any Airbnbs, any short-term rentals, you can view or create such booking and invoice your tenants based on that as well. Approval workflows within your maintenance module, you have your tasks and the calendar view as well, and we'll jump in a bit there as well. Work orders for your vendors, communication. If you can always see the communication reminders directly flowing in from Propertese, or you can always create announcements, manually as well through Propertese. Invoices, vendor bills, a consolidated CRM module, document center for all your documents in a single repository. You can also export data or like in Excel in if through Propertese as well. So now we'll jump into some of the core areas, like we talked about the property and unit management, where you manage all of your portfolio. Again, whether you're managing residential, commercial, any flexible structure that you have, properties can still, mimic that structure, whether it's basically bind to your entity structure or your portfolio. The properties tool is quite flexible to manage both. Whether you're managing any commercial space like an office building, you can have, created such office spaces within Propertese. You can upload images, access details. You can key in key documents, insurance, compliance documents if you want to. Central document repository. If you're managing any parking spaces and you're allotting parking spaces on your leases, charging your tenants as well, you can do that within your property portfolio or the commercial office space building, and the number of units. If you want to divide it by floor, by unit, you can have that flexibility as well. Utility meter readings. If you have any utility meters in place, you can do that. From a common area maintenance perspective, you have your custom expense allocations, late fee settings. Again, you can automate the late fee, and the system automatically applies the late fee as well for you. Then you have your assets. So again, within your commercial space or residential, if you have different assets, within your property. You can manage such spaces. Again, you can have a different kind of information within those assets. You can track documents. You can track preventive maintenance tasks, work orders, vendor bills, all of that in a single place, basically, if you have different kind of fixed assets within your properties. Again, very similar if you're managing any residential, single family homes, multifamily homes, apartment complexes. Again, quite similar to what we saw on the residential, on the commercial side. You can see the details again, images, documents. The right side, you have your features. Then comes the unit part. So again, this is your unit portfolio. Again, mixed of both commercial and residential. You can filter by your property, by usage, by tenant, long-term, short-term, unit internal statuses as well. On the unit record itself, you can again capture different kind of details. If it's a residential unit or a commercial unit, you can define the rent calculation based on the square footage or the time factor as well if it's a residential one. So you can capture images of the unit, access details, who is the current owner and the tenant of the unit. On the right side, if again, based on your portfolio type, you can tag different features like the bedrooms, bathrooms, parking spaces, lease agreements against this particular unit, any documents for compliance or any other type, any meter readings, then you can also capture that. Similarly, we have different kind of structures within properties. So these are basically your unit portfolios. Then we have the marketing feature where you can list your units through properties via Zillow. So it automatically, lists your units on Zillow's platform. It also allows you to share the details of the unit directly via properties to any email address of your prospective tenant. It also allows you to share the public URL of this particular unit. You can publish on your website, on your social media accounts, Craigslist maybe. So you can do that manually as well. It generates a public URL for you. Then once you have your vacancies either listed on Zillow or through the public URL, you can also automate the rental application process through properties. What it means basically, your tenants can directly apply via a public URL or Zillow, and their application directly comes into properties, and you can further process the application within properties itself. It has different stages. So you can approve the application, you can reject the application as well. You can upload different documents as part of your KYC process if you want to. You can capture different kind of details as part of the rental application itself, who applied for the unit, what was the unit information, security deposit, addresses and stuff. You can add your commentary as well. The application is now ready to be converted. Then basically this is the whole rental application part where you can manage all of your rental applications and their history. Then comes the lease agreement. So this is the one of the most important module of properties, which manages your entire life cycle of your lease agreements, where you start communicating with the tenant as far as your rental applications are concerned. You start negotiating with them for your lease terms. For commercial leases, it's a hassle for the property managers as far as different terms and conditions, your rent escalations, rent reviews, different type of clauses within like the triple net lease and stuff. So within the lease, you have, again, quite extensive to a part where you can capture a lot of details within it. Lease category, whether residential, commercial, which property and unit it belongs to. Again, you can create multi-year leases. You can also have, different kind of line items as well within the lease agreement. You can also send the lease agreement template via DocuSign for your tenants to review. They can sign digitally, and all of that trail is also maintained within properties. So in case this particular lease agreement is currently sent for signature, as soon as it is signed by the tenant, it comes back to properties and the status becomes signed, and then you can proceed to activate the lease. Similarly, you have your rent increase types, quite important for the commercial leases. You have your CPI-based rent increases, your step rent leases, your annual rent increase. You can have, different kind of agreements with your tenants. Invoice frequency, the tenants can pay monthly, quarterly, every 6 months, every 2 months, yearly. You can have such details as well. Rent details where you can tag multiple units within a lease, single unit. What is the standard rent? What is the security deposit? Any tax applicable on the rent if, in case of a commercial lease. It provides such details as well. Rent projections, again, quite important for the commercial part where you're managing multi-year leases. So you can have your initial rent per month. When the rent was escalated, it gives you a quite a good projection of your upcoming billing schedules, tenant details, move-in. Then comes the billing schedule. Again, for the automated rental invoicing, the system doesn't require any manual intervention. As soon as a billing date hits, the system automatically generates the invoice for you. If you have integrated already with ERP like NetSuite or Zero, the system automatically transfers these invoices to your ERP system or your accounting platform as well automatically. You can accept customer payments there either on the ERP side, or the system also allows you to pay your tenants to pay their rent online as well through a payment gateway integration too. So in case of majorly on the residential side, you there is a trend where a lot of residential tenants pay their rent online, and they don't usually pay by ACH or check or any other payment method. So you have both the flexibility as far as your payments are concerned. Again, because you have role-based access, you can provide access to your tenants. They can create your maintenance request from there if they see an issue. You can upload documents as part of a lease record. Any rental invoices generated, CAM charges, late fee invoices, all of that, in a single place in the leasing module. Parking spaces, terms and conditions. Again, if you want to print a custom layout for your own portfolio of property, you can do that, and you can always customize that layout for yourself. DocuSign history, again, if the document was sent multiple times, you can see the trail as well. So this is the entire lease module. Blake, do you want to add something?
Yeah, I was just going to add as you're going through it, and one of the
Uh-huh.
things that I really like to highlight with Propertese is, as Zed's been clicking around, I think it really kind of shows the comprehensiveness of the information we're able to house and capture here. We're able to see a lot of automation that's provided when it comes to things like invoicing, when it comes to just ease of how we're actually going to be accepting payment. And the other thing that really shines through is just the ease of use of the tool, right? It's not something
Yep.
that's difficult to learn. I know when you're looking at things like, hey, let's move from spreadsheets to a property management solution. Some of the concern is around things like change management and employee training. When you're using a tool as intuitive as this is, right, there's really, it really shortens that learning curve, really shortens that change management process to get familiar with the new solution. So just wanted to jump in and point that out as well.
Yes, absolutely. So on the leasing side, we have quite a lot of extensive features as well as far as depth is concerned. Then we have the maintenance module. Again, for your residential or commercial side, if you're managing multiple properties, multiple units, you may oversee a lot of different areas and different aspects of your rental business. So within a calendar view, the property managers can see their upcoming maintenance requests based on the due date or whether they are created on the tenant portal itself. They can filter by property, by assignees. They can filter by task categories as well, just to streamline their internal tasks and segregate them from the maintenance requests created from the tenant side. They can click on a specific task. They can view the details as well. They can see a consolidated list of all the tasks and maintenance requests. Within a maintenance request, the tenants can upload images, add the description that they want to, add their commentary as well. If they see the issue is quite severe, they can tag in the priority as well. The property managers usually review the specific maintenance request. They can create a work order directly from properties internally. And what it does in the background, basically, it sends out an email to the vendor along with all the details of the maintenance request. And they go into the unit, they perform the activities, they fix the issue, they provide their vendor bill, The property manager can create the payable side as well. They can create a vendor bill within Properties. Again, very seamless integration with your ERP or accounting software, where you're apart from your receivables, what we saw on the lease side, it also generates your payables as which you need to pay your vendors or your service providers. So it's a very streamlined way of doing things. So within the tasks module, again, you can create a recurring maintenance requests as well, preventive maintenance requests as well, tagging in your assets, your work orders, your vendor bills, all of that in a single place, basically. So if I jump into another maintenance request here, so if I quickly show you, it shows you all the details. If there are any work orders created, any vendor bills created, it will pop up automatically here, and it will show up all the details in a single place here. Similarly, for your annual inspections, like the preventive maintenance side, you can have your assets tagged as well. So in this case, you can see an asset which was already created is tagged into a specific maintenance request or a preventive maintenance request. Again, it could be routine as well, every 3 months, every week, every 2 months, and you can have that flexibility. You can create those custom schedules based on of your own terms. Once these tasks are in, then you have your vendor bills. So all of your vendor bills again in a single place, whether the bills are due, whether they are paid, again, automatic syncing to your ERP and your accounting software if you have integrated already. So these are all the vendor bills here. For your invoicing, you have all of your invoicing apart from the recurring invoices generated through the lease agreements directly through your billing schedules. You can always create your standalone invoices, or if you want to charge any ad hoc kind of items to your tenants, you can always create standalone invoices as well. Then comes for the commercial part, mostly your CAM charges. Again, a different kind of flexibility here. You can allocate your expense based on the even distribution, based on your square footage as well. You can also define your custom expense allocation methods. Talking about the recurring patterns, you can always create expenses based on a recurring pattern as well. Like every 3 months, you need to charge an elevator maintenance across the whole building or the property, across all of your tenants. You can create such a recurring charge within Properties very easily. It generates your rental invoicing. It generates your CAM invoicing as well, syncs to your ERP and accounting software, and all of that consolidation is already managed within Properties. Then we have a consolidated view of all the documents in one place. Again, whether you're managing documents on the lease side, on your property and unit portfolios, your contacts like your tenant history, your tenant KYC documents, maintenance requests, all of that in one place. You can filter by record type, application data, whatever you want to. You can simply see all of the detail within Properties. You can download the images, uploaded images, the system automatically generates some PDFs as well. You can generate and view such PDFs within Properties, and you can see all of the details within a consolidated space. Similarly, talking about the CRM part, all of your tenants, all of your vendors, all of your internal leasing agents. If you have a staff of property managers, leasing agents, you can manage all of them within a single place. You can export the list as well within Properties. You can do quite a lot of things here. So this was, some of the key features. Again, maybe in another webinar, we can go into much depths of things here. We can explore other areas as well. Today, our focus was explicitly for the subsidiary management, how you manage your residential and commercial properties, how do you manage your portfolio of different legal entities within Properties, and you can have a lot of flexibility there as far as your day-to-day operations are concerned.
Awesome. Yeah. And just like Zed had mentioned, if there is more depth that you want to dig into on this stuff, definitely reach out. We're happy to schedule, one-on-one properties demonstrations, really dig into specific use cases, all of that good stuff as well. Awesome. And next up on our to-do list here is to jump into a case study, kind of run you through a use case of a customer that got on Propertese early on. So I'm going to steal the screen back from you here, Zed, and let
Yeah,
me
yeah, please go
know
ahead. Mhm.
when you are seeing my slide again.
Yes, I can. We can see.
Great. Perfect. So, yes, as I mentioned, we just ran through our live product demonstration. Let me go ahead and move forward into our case study. So, Zed's going to walk through NickLock, how they used our properties tool, how it really benefited them today. So, let me go ahead and jump right into that.
Thank you, Blake. So, uh, Nicoloc is majorly, if you know about, is they build materials and manufacture specializes in hardscaping products like pavers and retaining walls. They serve both residential and commercial environmental needs as well. How Nicoloc uses properties, basically, they have a very diverse portfolio of commercial and residential property management. They have a financial consolidation part as well, where they manage almost 10 legal entities within their group of companies. They have rental invoicing and payments. They have optional terms as well. A major portfolio of Nicoloc is on the commercial side. So yeah, they have, multi-year lease agreements within their portfolio. For the individuals and the companies who basically rent out their units, they have custom rental applications forms as well. Similarly, for the lease agreements, because again, from a residential and commercial nature, the two of them are quite different. So they have separate layouts for the commercial and residential leases as well. All right. So when Nicolog came to us, so they needed a system to manage their leases across multiple legal entities. As I just mentioned, they have almost more than 10 legal entities within their group. They wanted to capture rental applications for different layouts for individuals and companies, separate templates for their commercial and residential leases to ensure they have tailored agreements for their tenants. Then how they currently overcame this particular challenge that they have. So we modified the system as far as properties is concerned because it's quite flexible. So properties, what we did basically, we had a bit of a tweak within properties where we modified the system to generate schedules for optional lease extensions. So what they have currently is an initial 5-year term commercial agreement. Then for an optional 5-year, they wanted to see a projection within the lease billing schedule in order to just to show a projection to their tenants for the upcoming billing schedules if they want to opt for another 5-year maybe. And for the distinct application forms, they wanted different layouts. So we came through a conclusion to build different kind of layouts, customizable layouts for the residential and commercial property needs for both individuals and companies who are renting out their units. And for the residential and commercial leases, now the system offers a very flexible, layout generation module. So it's a simple Word document where you can have your own text, where you can have your own data elements that properties provides, and it simply prints out a PDF for you alongside all the details of the lease agreement that we showed you in the demo earlier. So, as a result, what they achieved, so they successfully improved its property management operations. They were they before properties and a property management system in place, they were managing their leases on Excel. They were manually printing out PDFs and signing them through paper-based systems. So we automated their lease management across multiple subsidiaries, commercial, residential, both. We also improved, as a result, the tenant experience where clear lease extension projections, personalized touch to their lease agreements as well. Operational efficiency because they were doing a lot of manual work. So their increased operational efficiency, saved a lot of time as far as day-to-day operations are concerned. Easier to use lease templates for residential and commercial properties. The time that they had on the manual while manually managing those leases, they had a lot of time when all of this was automated, they had, a lot of ample time to drive better decision making through accurate lease rejections, improving long-term planning and revenue forecasting, and from a reporting perspective, they had a very clear overview of what they are, what where they stand currently.
Awesome. Appreciate you running through that, Zed. And I think it always is helpful to run on end on a use case where a company really saw some good value from our properties tool. I did want to reserve a few minutes here just for a couple questions that we got throughout. I'll go ahead and just read some of these off, Zed.
Mhm.
So number one here is, how does Propertese differentiate itself from other real estate management platforms? Specifically around multi-subsidiary support.
Yep. So again, we highlighted one of the things that in the webinar earlier as well. So any kind of legal structure that you have within your group of companies, you can mimic the exact same legal structure within property. So this differentiates us with our competitors, right? Apart from the subsidiary or legal entity side, any kind of property portfolio, residential, commercial, mix of both, agricultural, land spaces, warehouses, short-term rentals, anything that you want to manage, you can manage within properties.
So number two here, what are the biggest productivity gains customers typically report after adopting properties?
So majorly from a leasing perspective, because we have that DocuSign integration in place, so you can send out your leases for electronic signatures to your tenants. So it saves a lot of time. So you don't have to reach out your tenants manually. Apart from that, your rental invoices are automated. So the as soon as an invoice is generated within properties, there's no manual intervention. It is also sent out to your tenant automatically via email. They can, pay the rent online. They can see the PDF as well. Again, saving a lot of time for your property managers.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did get another question here just about what the current ERP and third-party tools Properties integrates with, and any plans to expand that list. And before you jump in on that one
Hmm.
thing I'll add just in terms of productivity gains that I've seen, I mentioned at the start of the call, I work with a lot of companies who are evaluating NetSuite. And oftentimes they're working with tools like, let's call it a Yardi, that don't integrate into other ERP solutions, right? So there's a lot of manual time spent between getting financial information from property managers to the back office accounting and finance teams. So kind of feeding into that third question around ERP tools that Properties integrates with, specifically when it comes to NetSuite, a lot of what I see on my end is just that real time data flow between the properties tool and between NetSuite, and then being able to leverage that detail on the NetSuite side from a reporting and from a visibility perspective. But Zed, I'll let you
Absolutely.
jump in as well.
No, no, you are absolutely correct on that. So there was another question maybe, right?
Yes, the other part of
Hmm.
that question is just the current ERP tools that Properties
Ah, all right.
integrate with, and then are
Mhm.
there plans to expand that list?
Yeah, so currently we are natively integrated with NetSuite. If you are using NetSuite as an ERP, if you have multiple legal entities there, we can, directly mimic that structure within properties. Apart from that, we have also have an integration with Zero. And in the near future, we have, plans to integrate with QuickBooks and maybe my OB as well as an accounting platform.
Awesome. A couple more here before we wrap. How scalable is the system for clients who are moving into managing hundreds of
Mhm,
properties or units across multiple countries? Can you just speak to
mhm.
that real quick?
Yeah, sure. So in that case, if you have a portfolio which is growing every year as the time goes by, so the system is quite flexible. The subscription is quite flexible as well. So if you want to have, another legal entity, or you acquire another company maybe which already has a portfolio of properties like residential or commercial, you can always scale the system based on your needs. Multiple legal entities can be created later as well. Similarly for your property and unit portfolio as well.
Awesome. And then the last question here is, what new features or enhancements are on the roadmap for Properties over the next 12 months? And I know
Uh-huh.
you and I have been working closely on this when it comes to investment management and some of
Yeah.
that good stuff. So I'll hand the floor over to you though, but we'll end it on this one if you want to speak to just a couple of those things on the roadmap here.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so you already mentioned investment management. So we are actively working on that front too. We have some integrations as well, as I mentioned earlier, QuickBooks as an accounting platform. Maybe in the near future, we have plans to integrate with any tenant screening service for the residential part, for your residential tenant screenings. Then comes we have, MyOB as an integration platform. Apart from that, we have regular updates every 6 months. So we enhance our current feature set, and we, similar gradually, build some new features as the time goes by.
Awesome. Yeah. And last thing I'll add there is, we also take a very holistic approach, as I mentioned at the start, when it comes to working with prospects. So if there are unique use cases, unique needs, Zed and I are happy to sit down with you, get a deep understanding of what those needs and use cases are. And if it warrants it, we're always happy to build in some customized solutions specifically tailored to your business. So excited for what's to come, excited for what we have here, and hope we hear from some of you soon on how we can help assist you in your journey of growth and automation and financial visibility when it comes to leveraging a tool like Propertese. So thank you everyone very much for your time. And like I said, feel free to reach out if you do have questions.